friends, it's Amy at Doki Doki Forest. So glad you are here. Welcome, come on in. Grab a cup of coffee or tea, whatever you like, and settle on in. Maybe you're even grabbing a magazine for harvesting or doing some glue booking of your own. So let's do it together, shall we? So today I wanted to share with you my pages that I created using the first magazine that Ker from My Take at the Lake and I harvested for our new open collab hashtag using the same images. This is open for anyone to jump in and join in. Basically, what we wanted to do was go through the same magazine together, pick out the same pages and images, and then see what kind of pages we both created separately, and then, share them with each other and reveal them and see if anything we created was the same or similar, or if it was completely different. Because the idea was, we could all have the same, 10 images, and the way that we would put together our pages would probably be very different, maybe a little alike. I don't know, it's kind of like an experiment, so I am super excited to see what happens. So the idea that Ker and I had was that we would harvest a magazine together, and we wanted to do something that was an autumn theme. We didn't want to go full Christmas yet, but we didn't want to do Halloween. So we were just trying to find things that were autumn, fall, Thanksgiving, that sort of thing. So we harvested a magazine together on a Zoom call, and we started with a Better Homes and Gardens edition, but that video had no sound. We had no sound at all, so we decided we would try it again using another magazine, and that's the one that you can watch clips of. Ker has the first half on her channel, and then I have the second half. But these magazine images that I'm sharing with you now are actually not from that harvest. That was country living. These are from the Better Homes and Gardens, which I don't have any sound from our harvest, so I'm just going right to the pages. I hope that's not too confusing. We were really planning on using one magazine for this challenge. We only wound up using two because of the sound issue we had with Zoom. So, these are images that we selected together using a Better Homes and Gardens magazine. And one of the things we did, because the magazine did have a lot of Halloween in it, we decided we could each pick like 3 pages of Halloween and just sort of do a little bit of Halloween. So we didn't have to pick the same pages for Halloween. We just each picked 3 pages that we liked. So that's why I have a Halloween page right there in the beginning. And she will have her Halloween page as well. I don't know if she made more than one page. I decided I was just going to make one page because it was after Halloween, and I just kind of wanted to get into autumn. So I wanted to honor Halloween because we had been chatting about this challenge, right around Halloween, I think. Maybe it was before then. It's been a while. But anyway, so I wanted to have one page for Halloween and then kind of moving on, easing into autumn, sort of that time in between Halloween and Christmas. Some of us have Thanksgiving. It's just, a cozy time. And this magazine, this Better Homes and Gardens, had a lot of marigolds. So there were a lot of marigold images and a lot of pumpkins. I would say those were the predominant images that we seemed to find. And I'm just trying to use every scrap of everything that was on a page. So if we ripped out a page to use, I just kind of ripped it up and, put it together as best as I could. Now, this round, as we were harvesting together, and I ripped pages, as we were going along, but I may have used more things on the page than we agreed to. So I was kind of cutting out some words if I found them, And I didn't do that with the second magazine, with the Country Living magazine, which will be a video I'll put out in a couple of days. So there might be more variation in our pages for this first magazine because I was trying to use like everything on the page. I was thinking like, if we picked the page together, then I can use anything on the page. And I have the specific images like that stack of nuts there I thought looked really cute, so I made it kind of like the lamp post there. But I actually think it kind of looks like it's alive. I want to draw a face on it, but I didn't do that yet. I didn't add anything like drawing on anything because I figured I want to leave it just the images. But yeah, so I do have the specific images we picked and the phrases, and I used most of them. But there may have been, a few things, like if I was gluing a page down like this, for example, and this was a page that we picked, and I saw text that I trimmed off at the bottom or something like that, then I would cut it off and kind of use it because I didn't want it to go to waste. And this is just gorgeous. I love all of those bookshelves. That's awesome. And I was trying to get my background images on first, trying to cover up the page if I could. You know how it is. You put something down, you think about it, you might lift it up, then you put something else down. Always some big decisions. See, and then I decided I didn't want to put it down right where I had it. I love that huge marigold. I just loved that. And the other part was I really liked that part on the right side of the picture there that says speaking volumes. I loved that. So I kind of wanted to use that page, but I didn't want to cover up where it said speaking volumes because I just thought that was really cool. So I figured if I scooched it over to the edge a little bit, I could save those words, but still cover up my page there. And I have this huge marigold that's going to take up a good chunk of the page anyway. But it's so fun to do a glue book. And we decided that we'll do a seasonal glue book. So this is a new composition book. It's actually one of my son's old school ones that he really didn't use. But it's a new glue book, meaning creating in it. So we both decided that this hashtag, this challenge we're doing with the same images is something that we could do for the whole year. Each season we can pick a magazine, we can go through it, harvest it, and make these pages and just see what happens, each time. Like, will our pages get more and more similar? Will they remain different? It's just an unknown, but it's really exciting. So this is now my season's glue book. And that's another reason why I liked having the little Halloween page there as the intro, kind of like remembering when I started this and then going right into fall. But I'm really excited. I have a colors glue book and now I have a seasons glue book, which I'm very excited about. And look at that pumpkin house. It's so cute. I didn't even carve a pumpkin this year. I have to confess, I don't know what happened. The time ran away with me and I didn't even carve one, but I want to save that idea for next year. And I love those words, a portal to other worlds. So I put that under dream, and it's got me thinking about, all of these things are sort of alive here. You're going through a portal and you find yourself in a magical pumpkin patch, and there's all little pumpkin houses everywhere. So that really is the theme for these pages here. I'm really thinking about little homes and little places where there could be a house that you might not expect, like in a pumpkin or in a big flower, like this big marigold. And then I just wanted to cover up the bottom there. I wanted to cover up the text, and I also want to cover up the room because I want it to look a little more magical at the bottom there. But yeah, I am so excited about doing this glue book. As soon as we harvested the images with this magazine, and with the second one too, I could not wait to get going. I was so excited to sit down and glue and just to see what I could come up with. And even more exciting is to see what Ker comes up with and, see what we do. Let me know if you decide to do this too. I would love to see your pages. If you're going to, exchange images with somebody, you could both buy the same magazine, or you could buy two of the same magazine and just pick images and send them out, and that's what you use. And, you could do something like that. But definitely let us know if you're going to do that, because we would love to see. It's really fun. Or if you want to grab a magazine and do it along with us, if you can find the same magazine, you could pick the same images that we're using and create your pages. With this magazine, this Better Homes and Gardens, it's a little tricky to do that because we don't have the harvesting. I mean, we have the footage, but like I said, no sound. But with the one that we just posted, that was the country living one, you could get that magazine and sort of go along the harvest with us and rip out the same pages. Now that issue is probably hard to find because now everything's going to be Christmas. So maybe during our next harvest session, you could do something like that and you can play along with us. That would be awesome. We would love that. We haven't decided if we're going to do like a Christmas theme or a winter theme next. So I'll have to chat with Ker and see what she would like to do. I am fine with either one. I mean, I feel like we could do a little Christmas and then also do winter, sort of like we did a little Halloween and then some autumn. So there's my little house that I wanted to put inside that marigold. And then I thought it kind of blends in. I just want it to stand out. And there's some I don't know what kind of vegetables those are. Maybe they're little carrots, like mini carrots or something like that. But I thought those were kind of cool. They almost look like a fence. Well, now I moved that, but I'll point them out again when they come back. And I'm just trying to figure out how to get the page to blend. I'm like, do I want to have those books there on the right? And some of the books have text on the spine, so I didn't want to see that. Oh, there they are. There's those carrots. I thought those looked kind of cool, like a little natural fence that maybe the residents of these pumpkin and flower homes put up. But yeah, basically I'm just trying to cover up any text in the background and possibly the book and table. I'm trying to make up my mind. That's what we do. We audition different pictures in different places, and sometimes you have that moment where you're like, oh yeah, that looks good, that's where it goes. And sometimes you're like, I don't know. And I'm going back and forth between glue sticks here. I am using a Scotch permanent glue stick, and I am also using my other one that's like the almond scented one. I'm not sure how you say it. I think it's Cocoina. It smells really good, but it is very sticky. So different things I like about the two glue sticks. The Scotch permanent glue stick is great because it's not super sticky and gooey. Oh yeah, see, I'm using the Cocoina one there, that silver glue stick. And that one is very sticky, whereas the Scotch permanent is not sticky. But that one there I'm using, that Cocoina one, is nice because you can move the images around a bit. You still have time to kind of manipulate those images and move them if you need to. Whereas with the Scotch permanent, I found that you really don't have that sort of wiggle room. Once you glue it down, it's pretty much stuck real fast. So I go back and forth between the two of them. And you always got to get those edges down. Sometimes I leave those edges until last. So sometimes I'll take an image and I'll glue the entire back of it and stick it on a page. And sometimes I just glue the bottom of it or the top of it if I think I might want to tuck another image either behind it on the top or behind it underneath. So that's why you'll see me gluing the image even after it's down on paper. I'll be lifting up the sides and gluing. It's just because I do sometimes like to add a little something behind it if I really want to make it pop, or try to make it pop. Like I added those marigolds behind the pumpkin house there because I thought it was blending in a little bit with the background, and I just wanted to have a little pop of color to tie it in, both with the big marigold on the right, as well as just kind of making it stand out a little bit from that bookcase background. And we got to have a little resident, so I added that little puppy. We didn't have a lot of characters. We had mostly, as I said, pumpkins, marigolds, some food, not too many characters, animals or people. And that wasn't because we weren't picking them. It was because the magazine really didn't have any. And I've decided on where I'm going to put this little carrot fence. I just thought it would look cute next to the house. And then it kind of blends in those pieces I glued on the bottom with the house. And then I had a few more of those little carrots, and I thought, well, what if the fence just kind of continues over here on this side as well? Goes behind the house or something and then pops out the other side. And I'll show you the pages at the end of the video as well. I will show you close up and give you a good look just in case I added something else, because I may have added a few things. And here's a main character here. We've got this Puppers, and it's like kind of like my pup Sophia, because Sophia is part Jack Russell and part Chihuahua and part, no, 100% cute. So I just have to figure out how to put this together, but I love those big old pumpkins, and I loved, hey there, pumpkin, like you're calling the pup. Maybe the pup's name is Pumpkin. I just thought it was super cute. And then there was another pup that was from an ad, and the pup was looking a little bit sad, and we almost didn't take the image, but then we did. So I'm going to give this pup a little fun game of hide and seek. But even with those big pumpkins and stuff, I had to figure out what I was going to put at the top of the page to cover it up. What could I put to take away that white page? And I love the little Japanese maple tree, but I think I'm going to need to use it in order to put together my idea here for my pumpkin page. But I thought I only need the top of it, so I could still save the bottom for a different page, because I'm just going to cover it up anyway, so I didn't want to waste it. Oh, and I found a little phrase there. I don't know what that was I cut out, but I saw something. I'm getting better at finding words and phrases. I'm still missing a ton, but I'm getting better. I used to miss all of them. And I'm excited too, because I'm adding the words into these pages and I'm really enjoying it. I started doing that in my colors glue book, and I'm adding some words in this season's glue book as well, and I am really enjoying it a lot. It's really fun to take the words or images from one page and just put them on something else. It sounds simple, but it's very satisfying when you do it. It's just so fun. It changes the whole meaning too. You know, the images change the meaning and the words completely change the meaning. So you can have a page that looks serious, but if you add like some silly phrase to it, now you've completely changed it into something else. So that's really fun. And we didn't have a lot of big background pages. So we have more pumpkins, but I thought, I don't know if I need more pumpkins. But then we had this page with beautiful pumpkin pie and that gorgeous green background. So I thought, well, that's a little different. You know, at least the pumpkins aren't exactly going into more pumpkins that look the same. But then again, I think I add pumpkins. So, you know, it was a pumpkin palooza. And I really didn't want to cover up that there's a super cute pumpkin there. It's called a turban pumpkin. And if you look at the pup, it's to the left and it looks so cute. It's got this like acorn sort of top and bottom. Very cute. So I wanted to still be able to see that. And I ripped the pup image. Oh my gosh, I'm always ripping images. So thank goodness you can just glue them back together again. That's a big image too. Usually when I rip something, it's like, because it has a little spindly piece that, you go to glue it and then it's like rip, like a little leg on someone or a little ear or something like that. But no, I can do it with big images too. I can rip anything. So I put that back together. And then I got to put this little pup in there. But that little pup is stuck with all those words. So now I'm thinking, all right, I want to cover up all those words. I definitely don't want to see that because that's just a random blurb. Those aren't words that I chose. They're just from the article. So I don't want to see those. So I am cutting out some different things I saw on that page with the maple tree and seeing how those looked. There were some little candles and I thought, I think this will work if I just trim it down and get it in there. So I like that. So we're going to put that in, but you can still see some words. That's why you have to find something else. And see, I didn't glue that pup up there down yet because I know I want to tuck something behind him. And as long as it's the same kind of tone as the background, I don't really mind if it doesn't go together seamlessly. I just want to have the words blocked and then the pup's going to go over it anyway. So, and then the words that are showing on the edge there, I'm going to be trimming off anyway. So should be okay. But now I'm going to deal with the pup's toothbrush. So it was an ad for like greenies or something, something to brush your dog's teeth. And, that's not super fall-y. So I wanted to jazz it up. So we had this other image that was a marigold project. It was like stringing a string of marigolds together using a needle and thread. And it was really pretty, but I thought, I can cover up the toothbrush. And I loved the idea of a lantern hanging off the end of it, but you wouldn't see it because I would either cover it up with the word pumpkin, or if I put the lantern on top, then you wouldn't be able to read pumpkin. And I really wanted to be able to read those words. So I couldn't use the lantern there, but I did like the idea of the puppy carrying a little lantern. I thought that was cute. So while I think about that toothbrush situation, I'm going to go ahead up here and just add another little pumpkin there to kind of get that to, again, blend in a little more. Get that background stuff that I added up there to kind of blend in. And sometimes it does really help to just trim off those edges. When they're hanging there, they can sort of throw your eye off. So when you trim them off, you're like, okay, now I can see exactly what it looks like. Unless you're intentionally leaving it. Like that big marigold there, I'm leaving the top intentionally because I want it to be like big and blooming. So here we go. We covered up the toothbrush, and then I thought I'll take the rest of the little marigold flowers and have them coming out the other side. So now the puppers looks like it has maybe a really festive sort of toy. Or maybe they're bringing you flowers. They picked you flowers and they're bringing them over. And there's another pup. So we had an ad that we took. We were kind of thinking it looked more summery. It had the girl, you've probably seen it. It had the girl and the pup, and they're driving a car, and they've got their sunglasses on, and the breeze in their hair and fur. Yeah, so I kind of like the idea of this dog poking up from behind there. And the dog is going over the edge, and I do like that, but I'm going to have to reinforce it because that's just a little magazine page, so that's going to bend. So I will glue something else to the back of that pup's head to make it sturdier, because otherwise it's definitely just going to rip and tear. And I didn't glue all of these pages together, the regular like composition notebook pages. I didn't go through and glue them up front. I'm just kind of gluing them as I go. Don't really have a reason for it. I'm just gluing as I go. And here's the girl from the ad. So I cut out all of the car. So now she's not driving a car. At first I was thinking, oh, maybe she's taking a picture, but I don't have a picture of a camera. So I couldn't have her holding a camera, but I was thinking maybe she's gone to visit this pumpkin patch and, you know, she's kind of taken a selfie with them. Then I started thinking about these pumpkins, and I was thinking maybe they're magical pumpkins, and then I was thinking about my page before, and I thought, well, maybe these are more pumpkin homes. So I grabbed another piece of pumpkins, I cut them out and put them on the bottom there, and I am adding in this big old pumpkin, and I glued the door that we had cut out to it, and now I feel like she's kind of knocking on the door. She's going to visit these pumpkin homes. And who lives inside of these pumpkin homes? Well, that is for the viewer to decide. Your imagination, you can decide who or what lives in these little homes. So now that I have a door up on that pumpkin, I'm thinking I have some images that were like these small rooms that I could cut the windows out and put them on some of these other pumpkins at the bottom and make a little pumpkin village. So first I had a big window, and I'm just trimming it so it's smaller. And then it sort of fits the pumpkin more, and I can get more windows on more pumpkins. So now I've got this whole pumpkin village idea. And again, part of me really wanted to go in with a pen and kind of add to it, but I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to go beyond our challenge for this. I was like, let me just keep it to the images, so that way, you know, we can get a true comparison of what it looks like with all the distractions of pens and whatever else I was thinking of. So we've got some windows, and then I thought it needs a little door. And this is just a scrap from one of the other pages we were using, but it had a texture on there that was perfect for cutting out a little door. So I'm just adding a couple of those to a couple of the pumpkins. Not all of them, so you can't see all of the doors, but just a couple little pumpkin homes there. But yeah, like I was saying, this magazine in particular was very pumpkin focused, very pumpkin centric. So just trying to think of new ways to use pumpkins. And there's more pumpkins. But like I said, I didn't want to waste anything. And now that I'm pretty sure I'm not going to tuck anything else behind the little pumpkin village, I will glue that down. Get all those little stems and pieces, make sure they're down as best as I can get them. I feel like you always have to go through and kind of re-glue these sort of things. There's always little edges and stuff that poke up, but you know, we get it the best we can. And then I put that little lantern right there. I thought it was cute to kind of light up the village. That's like their street lamp. They have a big old candle. And now this last page that I will create using this first batch of images and words from our Better Homes and Gardens magazine, this is just me trying to use up what was left. So this isn't me trying to create like a beautiful page per se. I'm just trying to see how much of what's left can I put on here. Because we had told each other at this time, you know, we don't have to use everything. We'll try to use like as much as we can, you know, like we'll try to use everything. And I really did use just about everything. But there were some words I couldn't fit on. There were just so many of them, and I could make a page of words, I suppose. I could have done that. I didn't do that, though, but I could have done that. But I really did want to try to use like pretty much everything. And I seem to have lost the footage for this entire page, but I will show you when I do the flip through in just a minute here, and then you'll get to see how much I used and what I did and how I put it all together. And there's still some goodies here, even on these pages that I left for the end. I'm like, well, I really like this big container. I really liked that a lot. I like the words autumn contained, so I was like, let's save that. So it's funny, even the things that are left after you think you're done, you keep, looking at it and looking at it. Like, did I miss something? Is there anything I can use? Especially trying to fill up the background, So sometimes you have one big background image, and sometimes you just have to kind of Frankenstein it together using all these parts and pieces from smaller images. And I decided I wanted to cut this chair out and kind of release it from the background, which as I was doing, I wasn't sure if it was a good idea, because again, I was like, well, it was a pretty big image and I could have glued that down, so maybe I should have kept it, but I really kind of like how it looks like, just by itself, just the chair and some books. And I have that big old food background. So yeah, it's about to cut off here, so I'll switch over and I will show you my final pages now. Okay, so here we go. This is my Seasons glue book, my son's old school book turned glue book. And it was barely used, so that's why I didn't feel bad about it. I have to decorate the front, and now that I know it's a Seasons glue book, I want to go ahead and put something from each season on the cover. And yeah, so we'll open it up here and I'll show you. So this first page, I thought I would do like an intro page, kind of write seasons again, like a title page, and put some images in here. And you can see I was washi taping the first couple pages together, but then I stopped doing that and I decided I was just going to glue some of them together. And maybe not even all of them. I'm just really winging it. I'm doing all different things. It's a very experimental sort of glue book. So then we turn the page, and I'll try to get it up here so you can see it. And then this is the Halloween page, because we decided we would do one Halloween page. It says witches, vampires, werewolves, celebrate Boo Bash, jack-o'-lanterns, ghosts, black cats, witches, and owls. And my personal favorite part is I love these were just two people standing here, and it was an article about how her husband was like obsessed with Halloween and decorating, and I covered up their heads with these little cookies. So there's a quick little Halloween page, and then we're getting into the fall. So I have Cozy Up Fall, Embrace the Season 2023. And I love that because now we'll remember when we started this journey. And the little pup is saying welcome. And then you turn the page and we begin. It says, Dream, a portal to other worlds. Come see for yourself. And so here we go. We're going into the portal and we find ourselves at a magical pumpkin house. And you can see I added this honey wand. Is that what it's called? A honey wand? It's like a magic honey wand dripping. And there's like these little stink bugs on there. So I guess they're having a little treat. And doesn't this just look like a lady? I feel like it could be a lady with like a little bonnet on. So I really want to turn that into a character. But again, I didn't want to do that yet. I might do that after the reveal. But I want to keep these as clean as possible so that way we can do a true comparison. And then I added, these are those little turban mushrooms. They're just so cute. Little puppers there. And then on this page we have our marigold home here. There's a little house there. A little boy is reading a book, relaxing. And I think I added this apple. I don't think I filmed that, right? The apple, and maybe these marigolds weren't there before. I'm trying to remember. but I liked it because it sort of covered up some things in the background, and then I just got to use a couple more images that we had decided we liked. And I wound up not covering up these books. I didn't really find anything that I thought worked, so they're just there. But I love reading, and you know, I definitely associate reading with all year, but especially in the fall and winter. There's just something about curling up on the couch, or if you have a fireplace, like, that's amazing to be able to read by the fire. So now we move on from the portal to other worlds, but we have a pumpkin village now. So here we go. We'll follow the pups to the pumpkin village. We have that little pup playing peekaboo up there. And then we have this little pup with his or her marigold toy. And it says, "Hey there, pumpkin." And I added another little pumpkin there because you can't have too many pumpkins on these pages. More pumpkins over here I added. And, you know, both because I wanted more pumpkins and also because I'm trying to cover up these toothbrushes. I think there was still some toothbrushes you could see poking out over here. You can see a little bit there, but I feel like you can't quite tell what they are. Probably not going to really look at it too much. Unless, of course, I point it out in a video, and then you might look at it all the time. Here's the next page. We have our pup peeking over the top. That one's also playing hide and seek, I think, with these ones. So this one's poking out the top, and then we have the lady knocking on the door. It says, "Cozy season, elevate your pumpkin, and grow your own," at the bottom there. And here is our pumpkin village with the little windows and the doors. And there's a little chair there. You can read and relax. And this lady is going to visit someone in the enchanted pumpkin patch. And then my last page, and I have to be careful not to show you my pages for the next magazine. So this was my mishmash sort of page where I was just trying to throw a bunch of stuff on that I didn't use on the other pages. But it turned out I really loved it because I found what started as a story about autumn contained. And then look, I feel like it's not contained. I put these flowers as a face on this pumpkin. So it's like, you know, what started as a story about things making sense, autumn being contained, all of a sudden got a little out of control, a little silly. So this page is very random, but again, I just wanted to use up those images. And look, someone was done with that slice of pie and they just stuck it in the plant. Maybe this will grow too. It'll have a little face, I don't know. So yeah, So those were my pages that I created using just the images that Ker and I chose from the Better Homes and Gardens magazine. And please look forward, we will have, if you watched our harvest video, we will have the images that we harvested from that Country Living magazine coming out in just a couple days. So this is our first one we're going to contrast and compare, and then we'll have our pages from our latest one, and that one had like ducks and all kinds of stuff. So you will see that very soon. Thank you so much for joining me today. Really glad to have you here. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you again real soon.